Hey everybody, I thought I would make a brief video here today. Now, I was up reading a couple of articles last night, or actually many articles, but a couple of them, maybe 3 or 4 of them, kind of stood out, and especially I thought they were very interesting, at least where these articles came from. Now, what you're looking at, of course, is the constellation of Orion, and anybody who knows anything about ancient history knows that the ancients held Orion as a very special place. It was a place of creation and the afterlife to many cultures, especially in Egypt and the Mayans, and it kind of trickled up into Native American spirituality. And of course, we have a story from today's religions, different aspects of it, and the story of creation, especially coming from Christianity. And I find it very interesting that there seems to be just a little bit of a movement, maybe, of looking back of what the ancients had to say about Orion and kind of blending science with spirituality. And I think that's good to see. And I just want to read a couple articles that I found, or at least 2 of the articles I found. And this comes from the Baptist News Global. And this is entitled God Still Creating After All These Years. And this comes from the deacon of a Baptist church. And this talks about God and creation. And then he talks about this. He says, a prominent feature of the night sky for the past several months has been the constellation Orion. And many non-astronomers are familiar with this constellation, often referred to as Orion the Hunter. Located just below Orion's belt of 3 stars is a cloud of gas called the Orion Nebula. As nebulae go, this may be the brightest one in our North American celestial sky and is visible to the naked eye. It takes about 1,300 years for light emanating from the Orion Nebula to reach Earth and your eyes when you stand outside on a clear starry night and look upwards towards the heavens. In the terms of distance, this region is pretty far away since light travels at 186,000 miles per second. For light to travel for 1,300 years may seem like a long time, but in a universe estimated to be about 13.8 billion years old, 1,300 years is just the blink of an eye. Oh, excuse me, I'm drinking coffee here. It says, however, put in proper astronomical perspective, the Orion Nebula, including the newly forming stars inside of it, is close enough that we are seeing it in pretty much real time. The significance of the Orion Nebula, other than its beauty when viewed through even a small telescope, is that it is the closest region of massive star formation to Earth. New stars are being born there. For me, this is significant from a scriptural and theological perspective. When we read Genesis 1, we have to keep in mind creation is a present tense event, not something that only happened in the past and is now finished. It's still happening, and the universe and its contents, whether stars or earthly scorpions, still are being created. The universe described in Genesis 1, although divinely inspired and revealed, is not the universe we inhabit today. It has greatly changed since the time of Genesis was written and is still changing today. God still must be in the business of creating. So I thought that was pretty interesting. A deacon of a Baptist church is writing about creation, and he recognizes the Orion Nebula pretty much as the source of that creation. Now, jumping over to this website, this comes from Billy Graham Ministries, and they ask some profound questions here. Who is God? Who made God? How did God create the world? Why did God make us? And it kind of goes over, some things of maybe what people think about and questions that should be asked. And once again, this comes from Billy Graham Ministries. And this is the title of the article, God Shouted and the Universe Leapt into Existence. And they have a picture of the Orion Nebula. So they are recognizing Orion as a place of creation here, and maybe they are putting 2 to 2 together. What the ancients are telling us, and they're kind of mixing that with their own, their view on things, but they are recognizing the Orion Nebula is a place of creation. There are theories out there that say, well, the ancients set up their monuments like Orion because they came from Orion. They are aliens that came to Earth. They came from Orion. Well, no. We actually did come from Orion, but this is a much deeper, profound thing. Our Earth spun out of the Orion Nebula, and the ancients knew a lot of things that we don't recognize today, and one of them is that we came from Orion. We were created out of Orion and the Orion Nebula. Hope you thought this was interesting. Have a nice day.